Ash, what are the latest developments when it comes to travel?
So what we've seen is airspace close for a lot of the countries around the Gulf, and we've seen the Foreign Office change its travel advice to don't travel unless it's essential travel to many of those places. Now, the airspace impact is that a lot of the airports in the region have been disrupted, some are closed. It's really problematic because those are transit hubs. So it's not just if you're going to those countries or coming back, it's if you're passing through them from Asia, Australia, New Zealand.
Which lots of people now do.
Which lots of people now do. 250,000 people pass through Dubai Airport every day, and 500,000 when you include Abu Dhabi and Doha, which is Qatar, and the other UAE airport. Now, the Foreign Office has had 100,000 Brits registering with them to let them know that they're in the Gulf, and they estimate there's 300,000 British citizens across the Gulf in total. And you're stuck there because those flights are not leaving. People won't be going there. But there are a few flights that are starting to get people out of those countries. A few of them resumed yesterday and a few are planned to continue today. But the people who are getting on those are the people who are already booked on flights, or in this case specifically, the first people to have been stuck in those places.
Travel expert Simon Calder was on BBC Breakfast this morning, and I just touched on that because he was actually in Sydney in Australia. And to your point there about how it's affecting the whole world, really, because, you know, Dubai, Middle East is a route to further afield. Yeah. And actually, we've had loads of questions about this. So with regards to long-haul flights to Asia and Australia, which usually stop off in the Middle East, Liz is saying, if you have already booked your flight, what do you advise?
So there's two things that are happening here. Are you about to depart the UK and go somewhere else that would be going via one of these places in the Middle East? Or are you somewhere else coming back via them? And then actually there's slightly different regulations for each of them. If you're on any flight that is departing from the UK, you're covered by UK regulation, UK 261 specifically. And if your flight is cancelled, the airline is obliged to either refund you or to reroute you. So you can ask them. The important thing here is if you accept a refund, they're no longer obliged to look after you. So you can push for the rerouting if you still want to get somewhere. We've seen people being moved on to other carriers. They've had to go via Helsinki, they've had to go via Singapore.
So you don't get a choice on that. If you're rerouted, it'd just be whatever route is safe to do so.
And what's available, because so many people are trying to reroute their flights at the moment that a lot of it is booked up for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Now, if you're currently aboard and you're flying back to the UK, if you're flying on a UK or EU airline coming into the UK, you're still entitled to be rerouted. But if your flight coming into the UK is with an airline that is not in the EU or the UK, you're not guaranteed that they have to reroute you. They can sometimes just offer you a refund. But the first thing you should be doing in any of these situations is contacting your airline. Some of them have terms and conditions that say that they will reroute you anyway. And they want to look after people. They don't want to end up with a bad reputation. So contact your airline first, see what they can do for you.
But if they refund you, is that them sort of, they've done their bit?
The moment you accept a refund, that's the end of their obligation to you. So just remember that. Once you accept the refund, they don't have to do anything else.
What about package holidays? Because, you know, flights is one thing, but it's part of a bigger picture for a lot of people, including Paul, who says, I'm due to travel via Doha as part of a cruise package. What should I expect from my travel agent? And in the same vein, Paula says, we were due to fly via Bahrain as part of a package with an online provider. What can I do?
Now, we don't know the specific providers in these cases, but package holidays are very well covered by UK regulation, and it's specifically the Package Travel and Linked Travel Arrangement regulations. And if any part of your holiday goes wrong, in this case, the air travel out there, that means you cannot continue the rest of the package holiday. It's the organiser's obligation to fix it for you, and they have to offer you a rerouting first. But if they're unable to, then you are entitled to a cancellation. Now, Paul and Paula are talking about flights that would have been going to Doha and Bahrain, places that are currently closed and places that are currently under the Foreign Office advice to not go unless it's essential travel. So it's unlikely those flights will be going ahead. So they should contact the package holiday arranger, see if they can maybe arrange to a later date, or because it's going to be impossible to get into those places, the next option is probably a refund.
OK, what about Cyprus? Lots of headlines about Cyprus over the last couple of days. Jeanette says, we are due to fly to Cyprus on Wednesday, but some operators have cancelled their flights until Thursday. Is it still safe to fly to Cyprus?
Yeah, so Cyprus is a much lower risk than the other areas we've been talking about. The Foreign Office travel advice is still green. It's still OK to travel there. There were some areas that were evacuated and a few flights cancelled. And the situation is developing very quickly. But currently the Foreign Office does not advise against travel, so it's OK to go there. Now, if you do decide to not go, and the Foreign Office advice is still green, if you choose to not go, you're not entitled to a refund with a package holiday. It's your choice to not travel. But again, contact the tour operator, see if they might be able to arrange later dates for you. And this is also why it's really important to keep in touch with the Foreign Office updates. You can subscribe to alerts, go to the website for the specific area you're travelling to, and ask for alerts. Something I'd say for all of this, it's a really good example of why it's important to get travel insurance on the day that you book your flight.
We talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, so many of the claims that we see for travel insurance are because something has happened between booking and the departure that means that you can't continue with the holiday. So get that travel insurance as soon as you possibly can, and then if something goes wrong, you might be covered for it.
You talked about getting information and updating the information, which is changing like pretty much hourly, isn't it? We did this yesterday. We put all the details you need on our website. So bbc.co.uk/morninglive, that'll link you to where you need to go